Good morning, everybody. So I put the word out to our Newmoon Accelerator friends and family to come on and chat this morning. And then, in the rush of all of the insanity, didn't think anyone got back to me. And of course they did. And I totally freaking missed it. And of course, Juan and Migle were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about mission, because all of our projects have amazing, missions and stuff. And I whiffed it. So I'm fired from the Uplift now. Like, I got fired. I fired myself because I suck. Anyway, so I'm glad we managed to get you guys in here, though, and thank you so much for your damn near infinite patience. I'm glad you guys are here. I'm gonna whip the game up. We're gonna do some gratitudes and stuff. But maybe for anybody that doesn't know who you guys are, maybe just introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do, and then we'll go from there. Juan, do you want to start?
Yes. Right. Yeah, let me start, and I guess
as if anyone doesn't know who you are in our circles. But
I guess everybody knows. But yes, I'm Juan from Nifty Blocks, and we are building amazing tools for creators on the NFT space.
Indeed.
That was a short introduction, right?
Nailed it. Short and sweet and true.
Cool.
Migle, go ahead.
Hey everyone, I am Migle. I'm Digital Officer of Rablium, where we create gender and race inclusive hyper-realistic avatars that are hoping to bridge the gap between the presentation of physical and digital space, both in the metaverse, but also way, way, way beyond, because avatar usage can be distributed in so many different ways that people have never heard of before. And we really want to show to people, how can you not only create your own digital identity, but how can you utilize avatars in so many different spheres? So we're not trying to take over the world with saying that the digital world should be there as a primary goal of communications. We're just here to give you an extension of yourself into the digital space, these beautiful avatars we're making.
So I've seen them. I was this many years old, and this is embarrassing, because the point you just made, it had not occurred to me. And maybe we can start there, because we wanted to sit down today and kind of talk about mission or whatever. But obviously we're really metaverse heavy in the Uplift, tad on the nose for us, right? And granted, our blocky avatars are goofy and fun or whatever. They're like the punks of the avatar worlds, right? It's pretty lo-fi, but it's stuff we think about, right? Because we were gonna move into Unreal, at some point, and the avatars that you guys create are just like holy shit level awesome. They're when you talk about them being hyper realistic, that's it's not bullshit. They really are. But it the second that you said that, I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't people use it to be on Zoom calls, or use it as a filter for FaceTime, and it just crystallized. It became very clear to me that this is just going to be a part of how human beings exist in 5 years, probably less, right? It'll just be a thing that is part of our culture and our civilization. And thank you guys for thinking of that. That you guys are way ahead of the curve on that. Or maybe I'm just very slow, which both are possible.
There's only one problem with this, and the problem is that there's so many awesome avatars out there. Which one do you choose? Corey and I have been kind of on a little bit of a rampage collecting really insane things, and I think this is. I'm Jimmy D, by the way. I'm here with the Uplift. I've been here with Corey for a while.
For a minute.
If anyone doesn't know me, and I think. I like to throw out crazy ideas. I think at some point, really, we should have an Avatar Olympics in some metaverse.
So we can do an Avatar Olympics, but here's the thing. I've seen what Rebellium's doing, and you haven't.
I haven't. That's true.
We can host those Avatar Olympics, and everyone but them loses. That's how that's going to go. Megan, your own, Jen was making one when we were in New York. They're intense, Jimmy. This isn't just some PFP project. This is figuring out how you want to be perceived in the world, and having basically total freedom to create something amazing, that just kind of skirts the unholy valley. It really, when she talks about them being hyper realistic,
I was under the impression that they were closer to the Void thing than they were anything else that we.
No.
So they're beyond that even.
imagine the most hyper realistic thing you've seen in Unreal 5 and then make it sharper, and then have the ability to create any kind of facial structure that you want, to play with, and anything on the gender spectrum that you sort of identify with, and then like there's like with some facial tattoos and crazy shit or whatever, but and the physics of it, just like, well, I mean, maybe you could talk about like from that, like, I mean, you're the expert on this, like, how are you guys delving into the hyper realism of it?
Right. I mean, how to say this without sounding snobby is that
you can sound snobby. It's
founder,
fine. We do it all the time.
Well, see, our founder Mao, he has been a character artist way before so many people were interested into specializing to be a character artist. Like, that was not really a thing, like he found passion because on his spare time he loved creating people that didn't exist. That was his hobby to do, and eventually he created an avatar that ended up making in a Playboy magazine. So he became a first man to be on a Playboy magazine, and he didn't need to change gender for it himself. He just created his alter ego through that avatar. So what I'm trying to say here is that this man has been specializing and studying from human anatomy to everything beyond human, like werewolves and different types of characters, how not to drop into Uncanny Valley. And for the ones that don't understand or haven't ever heard about Uncanny Valley,
oh,
perfect.
That's perfect. The internet go cut her off. So, yeah, I said the Unholy Valley, but she's totally right. It's the Uncanny Valley. And sorry, you're back. We lost you as you were going to educate us on the Uncanny Valley.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But Uncanny Valley is basically a situation where you drop into something is hyper realistic, but you can tell that something is not right. So then you kind of get creeped out because it's supposed to be realistic, but it's not, and your eye can tell that it's not. So I think it's one of the biggest challenges in general for any avatar company in the world currently creating avatars. But what we're doing is leading the team of like absolute amazing people. And when people ask like what's the biggest asset of currently of Rebellium, it's not even the software, because we're not there yet. Like the software that we made, we just created really fast to start showcasing the people our possibilities before we start our fundraising. But honestly, because he's been in the industry for so long, he now can kind of reach out to these top-notch artists and Unreal developers and say, hey, I'm creating this company with this mission and vision. Do you want to kind of join us and work together? And that's what we've been seeing, that people are joining us for those reasons, because he's been in the industry for so long and he has something to showcase, of his quality, what he's making. So now for us, just creating something hyper realistic in terms of human, that's just such a number one stop, and not even like Danny, like Jimmy shared a bit the link that I sent, and you could already see like an avatar that kind of looks more like elf with like the ear extension that is more elf like. So that's just like very, very short intro of where we want to be. We want to have a spectrum for everything. You have like a human and wolf, and you have a spectrum, and you're merging and you're live seeing how your avatar becomes more werewolf rather than just human to look like. But for us, it's important to keep that that quality. And I would say that's a huge challenge because of interoperability and, thinking whether we can actually, like, again, not to sound snobby or braggy, but it's like we created this amazing quality, but we kind of like realize that, no one can really utilize that right now, right? Like, like machines, our computers are not as strong. We cannot do that yet on our phones. And a lot of the metaverse builders are not ready yet to implement the avatars either that are that high quality. So now we're kind of like in the way, almost going backwards to trying to think, okay, how can we now lower down the resolution without jeopardizing the quality, but still you know, presenting these avatars as they are. But at the end of the day, we realize that, you know, everything that comes with us, it comes with our mission and our vision. So we follow our values. We try not to sell out. We're not trying to be overly commercial company that just wants to, you know, give licenses for our avatars like that. You know, you take it, and everyone just use it. We really want to try to consciously see who can use the avatar and for what reasons are they using. Because let's be honest, if we just now like set our link to our avatars, our software online, we're like, you know, whoever wants to buys it, I kid you not, next week you would start seeing our avatars in porn because they are that hyper realistic. And that's the last thing we want to, you know, to happen.
I mean, I guess my first thing, and by the way, I want to, Frank has been popping in on audio. Frank, can you hear me right now? Maybe he can.
I think you're muted, Frank. You got to unmute yourself.
Maybe Frank will figure it out. But I want to get into that mission. The first thing that comes to mind is like these technologies are going to be ubiquitous, right? So the second that you guys go public with what you're doing, you know, I think it'll be that much. It's only a matter of time, I should say, because it might be a while, but it's only a matter of time before you know, other people are able to do that, and we absolutely will see that stuff in porn. It's only a matter of time. But I mean, going to your mission though, I mean, I think that it's a really really interesting thing, right? I mean, it's one thing to be able to sort of be for and be an ally for people, like anybody, frankly, that wants to express themselves in any way that they want. Like that to me is you know, never mind the biological imperative. You know, that absolutely exists, that, you know, is you know, like, compelling is the wrong word, but like, you know, people just desperately want to, you know, be you know, existing in the frame that they see themselves in. Now, like in the digital space, I feel like this is just going to get I mean, hopefully it'll provide a lot more you know, opportunity to make that a lot easier for people. But then just the creative capacity of it, I mean, the entire, you know, billions of dollars worth of fashion industry, you know, I think is leaking into and will bleed into and finally eat the digital world, you know, as we spend more and more time, you know, using this medium to communicate and to exist, frankly. Right. So like maybe talk a little bit more just about your mission, and how you see it in, you know, the medium to deep future. Because like we can sort of see how it's going to react now, but I'm really curious to see like the metaverse thing. You know, obviously I think that's where avatars are going to, you know, be prevalent. But talk a little bit about, you know, what you were suggesting before, like where there's going to be a lot more impact than just in the metaverse itself.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, I must say, like, you know, everything what we do, what we create in our system. So our system is made that you can come and create your own avatar. And we give quite radical freedom at this point to create and put your own input, how you want your avatar to look like. And what's amazing to me is that when I saw the builders building the software, they had everything already made in the spectrum. Like they didn't even think about it behind like the reasoning. They just build it because it made sense to them. And to me, that was the moment when I was like, whoa, so the gender can be a spectrum, your race can be a spectrum. And by race being a spectrum, I mean, if your mom is Korean and your dad is Swedish, you can pick both of those races in our software. And then you have a slide where you can slide in the middle, and your facial and your body, it will change accordingly. And that whole data is based on also our research on how people look from those regions as well, right?
Yeah.
So that can be already now represented by it. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
I have many questions, and like I'm really sad that I don't know anything about this. So a caveat here, but like 2 questions in particular, right? When you first started this speech, before we got into werewolves and things like that, it kicked me back to a really good friend of mine. One of my best friends in the world, his father actually came up with this, you know, research for the University of Berkeley, California. He traveled all over the world. He met people who had never had contact with human civilizations. And he was basically the impetus for that Lie to Me, a TV show, if you've ever seen it, right? And like the main girl who has this empathetic ability to see that. He researched pantomimes across the world, like 21 different things that women do, 18 or 19 different things that men do, to show whether they're telling the truth, right? And you know, it was really kind of cool. So when you first said that, I was kind of curious. The second point, which kind of ties into this, is you said people have the ability to create their own avatars. So to go back to the question side of things, is the ability to create your own avatars, the ability to pick your own personal attributes that will fill in to those avatars, and B, when we talk about a hyper realistic, because you kind of said something just now that made me think about this. When we talk about like a hyper realistic, like how is this plugged into the way that humans actually interact and react, and how does this work at play, right? Like when the avatar is happy, when the avatar is sad. Am I missing something here? Like maybe I'm just crazy and I'm not understanding.
No, all good. I mean, I think I have answers to your question. So number one, in terms of like your own avatar, you construct your own avatar. We give you a non-binary, genderless, like kind of on the spectrum of middle of the race carcass. We just give you kind of a carcass. It doesn't have groom, it doesn't really have hair. It has like a very kind of mixture of typical kind of a grayish skin, and you go off. So we give you, like, if you've ever played Sims or any video game where you need to create your avatar, imagine it's something like that, like the character building system. That's what we basically are giving to you. So you can change from like dimples, the level of how deep your dimples are, to the level of how old you are. So how your texture of the skin is changing, whether you're younger, whether you're older. Are you thicker person? Are you more curvy? Are you thinner person? You can really alter almost anything. And we're going to continue adding many, many more features of altering that. So it's really in your hands to create something, whatever you want.
Does the avatar age?
So that is not going to be our focus, at least for now. That's going into AI, right? Do we want to implement AI that will learn to age the avatar? I don't know, because I think in order to answer this question, we need to answer another question.
Okay.
Do we want the metaverse to truly represent and mimic the real world? Or if we are claiming that, you know, we're entering metaverse to really have this space where we're flying and like these possibilities are endless. And for example, fashion is breaking all of the physical standards because you would never be able to create that in a physical world, but now you can make this in a digital world. Then why are we really trying to follow the rules?
I'm getting old enough out here, dude. Like, I don't need to get old in there too.
No, but I like this thought, right? Like I like the idea that like I mean, imagine if you could have an avatar that like did all of these things, and when things went wrong, you could pay, I don't know, some weird token to like regenerate it back.
I
to
love
its original state.
I love you deeply for trying to figure out how to get more use case for Upliftium, but I think in this particular case, aging backwards should not be on the list.
It doesn't have to be Upliftium. It could be anything.
Stop
right?
aging. Yeah, no, but it's funny how much we go into macroeconomics on these things. We have it a little.
No, I mean it's cool. I love ideas like that. It's kind of like Tamagotchi. You know, like when we used to have those kind of like tiny playing things. Like it kind of is cool, and the idea is there. But we also need to like really focus on what we're good at, you know, and what we can create, which is the visuals and the ability for you to construct. And we want to give the freedom or partner with strategic partners that can figure out then those ends, you know, like, do we want the avatar to age? Do we want avatar to speak? Do we want avatar to think? All of those, you know, things. So, and then the second question you had was about the...
Well, I'm just like, so I think everything that you've said, definitely Jimmy needs more research. He's going to do that like next week when I have a little bit more free time, because this is super fascinating to me. But I'm just curious about, like, actually, you don't have to answer my question. I'm just curious about, you know, how the hyper realism will work. Right. Because like Corey kind of said, right, this isn't just another PFP, right? Like I've seen them, right? Like Corey's had the ability to see them. I haven't. And most of our audience probably out there hasn't. So I'm kind of curious on how the hyper realism plays into this, you know, taking the gold medal every single Olympics, right?
I mean, like, and maybe you definitely expand on this, but the first, I just want to like drop this in there. The hair physics threw me. Right, like, you know, they just had like the little test avatar up there, and it was basically just like you could you know, look at it or spin it or whatever, and the hair would move perfectly.
Yeah, dynamically.
Right. And that was just like, oh shit. Right. And you know, the facial expressions you know, are amazing. And I think will get better, especially as AI gets better and facial tracking gets better and. But just like the definition that went into the hair tracking looked like it was, you know, a very high-end film studio that had gone in and retouched it. And it was just, no, it's just how it works.
I really wish I was ready to let my hair down and turn the fan on and like put a beach background. Just like,
I mean, it's literally that. I mean, the avatars can literally do that. Like, you know, like this hair flip, like our avatars can do that. It's called dynamic movements for the avatars. And it's the same kind of like for the whole body. They are rigged, and rigged avatar means that they basically have bones. And if your avatar has bones, you can animate your avatar to make it move in any way or shape or form. But to answer the question about the hyper realism, I think there's like two-part answer to this. So one, if you choose to be a digital twin. So digital twin would mean that you look the same, exactly the same. You want to recreate all of the features that you have in your physical world. You want to recreate with your avatar, right? So in that case, you don't want to jump into uncanny valley where you're not really looking like it, and it's kind of like a gimmicky version of yourself, because then you are going to continue looking at metaverses only as a video game. And I don't think that the metaverse is supposed to serve as only as a video game. I think it is much more beyond than that. And even like touching the topic that you asked also earlier, like beyond the metaverse, where can avatars be utilized? That's an example that I give to a lot of people. Go check it out on Netflix, search Darknet, and watch the documentary. All right. So Ma was approached almost 7 years ago, I believe, by one of the UNICEF branches that deals with human trafficking. And they asked to do an avatar. And it was a very, very secretive project. They didn't really tell us a lot of information, what's going to happen, why are we making this avatar? But because it was NGO, because it was UNICEF, you know, everyone kind of agreed, let's go ahead, let's make it happen. Long story short, the avatar that was created, we named her Sweetie. She was a 10-year-old Filipino-looking girl. She was extremely hyper-realistic, to the level that police used her to catch pedophiles on online websites.
I've heard about this, and I had no idea that was you. Like, that's flipping bro. I have heard about this. I've read about this, I think. Yeah.
Voila. So that's one of the examples of how, like, you know, you would not think about it, but you can't really seat a child in front of computer to try to bait people, you know, pedophiles, into catching them in the act, because that's the easiest way to put them in jail and to prosecute them. But you can use avatar for it, right? So that's where the hyper realism helped in that position, in that sense, right? So that's just one of the examples of why I believe in hyperrealism, in terms of like, it's not even the hyperrealism, it's more the quality that you can achieve with the avatar, right?
Right.
But then, like, that's number one kind of answering. But then if you go beyond human, when we're talking about, you know, the werewolves and the mermaids and the dragons and etc., again, I think the same argument that I just said before is that if we're going to continue making kind of like NPC looking avatars for us to use, and fair enough, you know, like if your whole metaverse is based on like Minecraft looking like pixelated items, I'm not going to touch that topic. But if you're trying to achieve a higher quality, and then your avatar is very gimmicky, like it doesn't look like, you can't relate to it, you can't establish your digital identity to it, it needs to reach certain level of trust and intimacy that you can truly relate to it. You truly want to go to digital office with this avatar because it represents you. It doesn't feel like it's a video game, or it doesn't frustrate you because it looks, you know, kind of like diluted or delusional, or you don't relate to it. So to me, the hyperrealism comes, like, even if it's mermaid or wolfware, I think we need to follow certain level of quality if we truly want to make the metaverse not only a video game, but also a place where we work, where we shop, where we perhaps do research, where we educate one another. You know, how cool would it be that in a metaverse you click on a human and you can see what are veins looking, and the veins
So
are
the
hyper-realistic.
shopping thing is really interesting to me, right? The caveat on like a Minecraft metaverse, just from our perspective for now, because there's a reason that people like Corey and I and the rest of the team are super plugged into this. But like, okay, so you just kind of really blew my mind, and like blew my mind enough that I get to cut the smartest person in the. One, you're smart too, but the smartest person in the room right now off, right? So this is the thing. Like I used to own this like really small fashion company, and I hate shopping online, right? Like I don't really like shopping that much, but like I like shopping at that time because we were building this fashion company. That's a freaking game changer. If you can have a realistic avatar with your proportions, with your facial features, with all of these things out there, and you can plug that into something like Etsy and actually try on the clothes before you buy them and see how they fit, right? Like I'm sure it's no easy task, but like what you guys are creating with that avatar, that's halfway there, right? I mean, like,
yeah, I mean,
it's probably more than halfway there, because every time I go to the freaking shop, they have those mirrors that make me look skinnier than I actually am, right? Like I get all messed up, right? But yeah,
I mean, like it's not even for the fact of, I mean, of course, convenience here is a huge, reason why. But to me, it's like, do you know how many times people order stuff online just to get shipped to their house, try it on, look in the mirror, not like it, and ship it back? How much environmental impact you're making by doing stuff like that constantly, But then same goes for even fashion designers on professional level. How many models need to fly from New York to Paris in 1 week just to try on that one dress and then fly it back and then realize, shit, I need to fly it back. So I'm not saying that, I think we're quite like still a lot of work needs to get done, that the physical, like the online version looks the same as physical, but we already can, together with AI, calculate your whole body, like all measurements. And if we can mesh that literally, like that digital dress on your, then digital twin, like that will be impactful on so many different levels for environment, but also for the traveling. Like it will touch many different spheres. So yeah, we see a huge potential in there. Like not only, looking from commercial side again, but like sincerely for the impact side, it's huge. Really believe in that.
Right, and there needs to be a little checkbox underneath, like actual size or size, in 1 month when you lose the when you lose the weight before the wedding, right? Like so you can do both, right? That's gonna be good. I love it, Migla. I'm gonna bother you and annoy you for the next month and figure out a way to learn as much as I can about this project. I'm super excited.
Hey, Frank just tried to pop back in, and then I'd love to pivot over to Juan to check in on the Nifty mission. Migla, I mean, I'm really excited that we're in the same community. Like we're gonna have to have you back, all the freaking time, just because I think this is you guys really are ahead of the curve, and I think this whole space is going to be evolving for a long time. So, Frank, if you can unmute yourself, we'll do an audio check just to see if we can check in with you.
Yeah, sure. So sorry. Apologize
to
all. Yeah, I'm so sorry. The line was really bad, so I run to a place where I have a good Wi-Fi and camera. Hi, Migla, Juan, Corey, Jimmy. Nice to see you all.
Awesome. All right. So hey, Frank, we're gonna go take a look at the Meta Art Tower, which is absolutely epic. I think it's probably the most epic build in Ethereum right now. But while I have you all here, just in case there's a freaking solar storm or something. That's weird.
I must say you guys did such an amazing job, and I was chatting yesterday with Jen, on a show, and it's just absolutely awesome. Corey, amazing.
Yeah, I'd love to take credit for it, but we actually got our friend TC who hooked us up with Quadrell, who was the builder for your building. But then I mean, you guys got the art in there. I know Jen and I think maybe Russ were doing the picture installs, but I mean, you guys got everything mashed up so that it really took advantage of the way that it was built, right? Like getting the images to be the right sizes and getting them in the right place. We'll go take a look at it in a minute, but I want to make sure we get some gratitudes in here. So. Migla, let's maybe start with you. What are you grateful for this morning?
I am grateful for more companies around the world allowing their employees to do remote working.
Awesome. I had to edit slightly, but point. One.
Wow, what am I grateful for? Today I have to say that my gratefulness is very very high level and mundane. I'm grateful for the good weather because we don't have that often in the Netherlands. So I'm grateful for the good weather.
I don't even think that's mundane, man. I think that works.
Right?
All right, Frank.
Yeah, I am enjoying the weather here in Amsterdam. Fantastic. Thanks for arranging, Juan. For me, it's I'm grateful that the world is a village.
Mm.
That's a good one, Frank. I mean,
I'm really sorry, but I have so many, so I'm just gonna start.
yeah, rock and roll.
I'm grateful to know Migla and everything she's doing, or her team is doing. I'm perpetually grateful for Juan and Jose and NFT Blocks. I recently had the pleasure of working with the people over at the Meta Art Club a little bit, and so my third gratitude is I'm grateful for Frank and Lavina and Heidi and the TMAC team.
That's kind of you. Yeah, thanks.
You guys are awesome. Like people don't even know how awesome you guys are. Like I'm struggling to promote you, and I'm gonna do a better job. I promise. You guys are killer, Frank. Like people don't even know.
They don't even know.
Thank you.
They'll find out though.
I hope so, but I'm really...
and my final gratitude is I'm grateful.
I'm doing mine right now. You're gonna have to wait.
Oh man, this last one's the bomb, Corey.
Oh yeah, it's the bomb diggity.
Yeah.
For me, I'm grateful for the Newmoon family and for Chan who invited us to come join that community.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm grateful.
Yeah, that's a great one.
The last one is I'm grateful. I'm grateful we're a DAO, so Corey can't fire himself.
I tried to fire myself this morning, Frank. It didn't work.
What happened?
Funny. All right. Jen or Jordan, anybody else? I'll leave these up here for a couple of minutes. So we can do a couple more gratitudes if there's time. Yeah, Juan, maybe talk a little bit about your the mission over at Nefty, and then Frank, when we chat about yours, we'll head over to the tower and hang out there so people can ogle at it in all of its glory.
Okay, yeah, well, basically, yeah, I think I've been here so often and shared this so many times, but yeah, I think that basically our mission is to provide creators with the tools that they need to basically to merge real life with NFTs, being able to do their art, do their craft, do whatever they need, and be able to express themselves through NFTs and do commerce, do whatever they want through NFTs. So we have been building tools for creators on Wax to easily do everything without having to hire expensive developers or having to code themselves. And yeah, we have been starting since from the minting process, going through gamifying your NFTs. We are starting now with the possibility to redeem NFTs for real life items and so on. And I think that now we are also expanding, and we want to become a cross chain for all of what we are doing.
Yeah, you guys just made the move over to Proton, right?
Yes, but not only Proton. Now we are also ready with EVM blockchains. We have contracts to mint NFTs over there.
Hello.
To create your drops, whitelists, pay with credit card, custodial wallet on Ethereum, and so on. And we also have now solutions for token gating. So, for example, we are working with a guy who's creating a documentary, and they will publish it and on Ethereum, and you will only be able to see the documentary if you have one of their membership NFTs. And we have all of that already there and working like a charm. So yeah, we are exploring more and more options with NFTs.
Somebody make a killer meme, because and send it to me so that I can, like, you know, a little like 20-second video, 10-second video, 5-second video, so that every time Juan comes on this channel, we're ready with it. So we can say like Juan drops alpha and like throw it up there on the screen, because every single time there's something freaking new coming from this guy, man.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And you know, for example, today we are also experimenting with something new. We just released the drop for our on conference in September, and we did it through NFTs. And to get your actual ticket, when you buy the NFT, you go to NFT Blocks. We have now a redeemable NFT section. You redeem it, you receive a code and a link that takes you to Eventbrite, and you get your ticket directly from Eventbrite from an NFT. So yeah, we have been busy doing more and more things, because we think that that NFTs will be very, very useful in the present and the future, when you start doing these links with real life, with different physical things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you have to talk to NFT the movie. They need to hear about everything that you're doing, because eventually they're going to start.
Cool.
Yeah, they're still planning on doing some release type stuff, and I will strongly recommend that they work with you guys.
And potentially Frank.
Me too. What's that?
Like potentially Frank. I mean, they're doing tons of shit in the real world, plus NFTs, right? Like,
right?
Oh, cool. Yeah,
so,
well,
yeah,
I will meet
actually
Frank in real life next week. So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so freaking jealous. Yeah, I wanted to let the pictures have some time to spawn in. So yeah, this is the Meta Art Club Tower, and it's freaking rad. Cool. I was gonna go to the top and do this, but like, so
it really is so good. I
right?
agree. I mean,
I'm gonna go slower again, but this is just really fun. 30.
So I think it was 35 artists were featured from you guys off the first run. Is that correct, Frank?
Yeah, that's correct. And again, yesterday I went with Jen. We spoke about many of the artists individually and explained the story. Many how I met, how we got in touch, how we decided on choosing the artist. It was an awesome talk we had. And this gallery is just insane, and we can only imagine where all, and also in collaboration with all of you here in the Newmoon project, to start collaboration and art exhibitions and everything. So it's an absolutely wow gallery. It's amazing.
And I mean, like, I'm gonna kind of annoy Corey here, but like, he knows that I'm gonna be right? Like, he made a comment before about being part of the Newmoon accelerator, right? And
yeah,
I don't really believe in fate either, but there's some weird energy within the Newmoon, right? Like, you've got people like Frank and Lavina and the Meta Art Club that are like partnering with projects like Vogue, and then you've got Migla, who's in there, who's talking about the ability to potentially plug in like real world use cases for avatars and fashion and things like that. You've got Juan out there that's like selling NFTs that become tickets to real world events. I mean, and this is 3 of a multitude of amazing projects that are plugged into Newmoon.
Right? It's not the woo though, Jimmy.
It's not the woo.
It's freaking Chan.
It's Chan, yeah. Chan is the woo, yeah.
Right?
That's
Like
true.
without a shadow of a doubt. And frankly,
Yeah.
like, you know,
That's true.
you are that for the uplift, because without you, we never would have met her.
Oh,
But
Oh
yeah, I mean,
no, it's the whole team. It's the team, and I can't wait to meet Juan and Mikle. You know, unfortunately, I had bad luck. I had to postpone some of my meeting in Europe, but in the next week, I'm here still to end of July, and look so much forward, and also talking together how we can also expand our collaboration together, right? So, like you said, this togetherness and cooperation is so cool.
So Corey, do you know the only thing that's more exciting about this? Do you know the only thing that's more exciting about this gallery?
oh man, I never actually seen this before. I'm sorry. I'm ogling myself. Just because I for some reason hadn't seen that one before.
That's really cool, yeah.
Sorry, Timmy, go ahead.
Do you know the only thing that's more exciting than this gallery?
No.
This is a 32 by 32 plot, and so
Yes.
that means that there's a ton of plots that surround this that have the gallery view.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be targeted. I'm gonna try and buy some land around here for sure.
It's gonna be so good, right?
You know,
yeah,
like,
me too.
Just I'm just gonna. There's a little fire down here from some. Oh, this is probably a lightning strike. Huh. We have lightning strikes in our metaverse. At least we don't have any random dragon attacks anymore. Yeah, I'm gonna buy this little piece, assuming I get there first. And I'll just make a little treehouse and just
right.
stare
How
up
good
at
is
this
that? Right. This is
the
your
whole
view.
time.
You wake up in the morning in the metaverse, and this is what you see. Right. So, Corey, I'm gonna mess this up because it's been so long, and we've heard so much from so many people that are amazing. But it was something along the lines that all the Newmooners are in Ethereum, right? So pay attention to what's happening in Ethereum, and that'll give you kind of hints of. Now, I mean, all Ethereum is not Newmooners, but all the Newmooners are in Ethereum, right? So, yeah, it's pretty fun.
I haven't said that in a while. I wonder if that still works. Please hold. Yep. Cool. Anyways, so Frank, yeah, let's. We came in here. These ones are freaking nuts.
The right one, like,
right, like
me, right, like that's.
Yeah, this is a work of Owo. He lives in Lagos, Nigeria. He was one of he launched the Afrodroids PFP project. He is a little bit. He's called the People of Africa. He creates one digital artwork a day. And he's awesome. And he was also part of the folk drop that we organized with them.
That's awesome.
Corey knows how much of a fan I am of the actual images of the other side. Like, we've never actually been in there and played around, but like the images are really cool. Like, I'm just gonna say it, move over other side, because this is freaking awesome, right? Like, if this was a world image, like, I would definitely buy into that world. It's really cool.
Right.
Like, there's just something about that that's like, I don't know, empowering, nostalgic. Like, I want to go there, but like, I've never seen. See, I keep putting my foot in my mouth. I was gonna say I've never seen a tree with like purple leaves, but like, cherry blossom time is pink leaves, so we're kind of close. Maybe that's where the nostalgia comes from, right? Like, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Anyways, so Frank, yeah, we came on board. We started talking about the Rebellion mission. I think we had a fun conversation about that. And while Juan is an old hand at the Uplifters show, I think anytime we get a chance to dig into the mission that Nefty is not only working on but evolving. So I think you're totally right, Juan. The number of potential intersections with the sort of quote unquote real world or the ways that we've been interacting and doing business before and meshing NFTs and NFT and tokenization technologies to it is going to be a winner. Not that is going to be surprising to you. I just wanted to kind of draw my 2 cents in there. You guys are, as usual, on the right track. But Frank, talk a little bit about like the mission, even the long-term mission for Meta Art Club.
Yeah, thanks, Corey. So for us, the mission is to build a very vibrant community where collectors and artists in the newly created digital art space can meet each other and where through a membership of being member of the Meta Art Club, collectors can meet and can follow careers and also buy art from the artists that also at the same time in part of this new ecosystem. Digital art, of course, has existed for a longer time, but of course now with the blockchain, it's finding its real place where actually it should be, in this new digital life. So going forward, we see that all digital art will see more and more. That's what we predict. We'll see more and more attention and also interest. Why? I think one thing is already now we're looking to screens in the metaverse. Screens are going to be a more important part of our lives. Future could be with LED and LCD walls, and it's just predictable to replace that same painting that hangs on the wall for many years because you bought it once. It's being replaced by a screen that displays every day every week a different artworks that you have in your collection, and that also can be animated, and now maybe also can follow the moods that you have. So in that sense, a platform that really Meta Art Club really promotes digital artists and also give aspiring digital art collectors a safe place to be with a curated group of artists.
Yeah, that I love sort of the I mean, and I'm sure it's not new, but I love the way that you guys have been doing it. Like that, creating an ongoing community where those two, because it's really important. Like having being a digital artist is great. Being a digital artist that never sells anything and never meets any collectors probably isn't. And vice versa. Like I've never been an art collector, but I imagine it'd be way more valuable to be part of a community where you're actually meeting artists as they're coming up and creating those relationships with them. I think it gives the whole thing so much more meaning.
Yeah, that's exactly imagine if you want to start collecting digital art, where do you start? There are a lot of platforms, and of course some of them are amazing, and we just want to help those new collectors to to provide that already selected and curated group. Of course, also in the art styles, we try to find a very proper mix, from Afro art, contemporary, surrealism. So we cover the different art forms. We cover artists from the different continents, and also a third of the artists are women. So we also very much look to diversity. So giving a real global range. This is not an exclusive group of artists. We keep on looking to the most amazing artists, and we will absolutely be expanding. And keep on hunting for those treasure ones. So at the same time, and that's maybe also interesting. I also very strongly believe in the connection with the digital world, with the physical world as well. We have done the collaboration with Vogue magazine. We have done recently a project for Jessica magazine. Also in Hong Kong. We are working on a project with DressX as well. So we have done a project with Swire, one of the leading property firms in Hong Kong, that has, as a giveaway for the 50th anniversary, has given away 5,000 NFTs. By the way, that was a really great concept. So any of their relationship got a QR code. When they downloaded QR code, it actually contains a wallet and the NFT as well. So in a way, if you think about it, we could add potentially thousands of new, art collectors into this space. So I think very intriguing for us is the digital life, the metaverse now, our gallery. The Uplift Gallery, we are so proud about, and also how can we, make those connections, to the art world.
Jimmy, you're muted. Home slice.
Wrong mute. You guys basically just solved every single problem that Corey and I discussed on a daily basis. Like you know, a year and a half ago. Like that's brilliant. You buy an NFT and a wallet is created for you, right? Like that's like, how perfect is the onboarding for that? And like Frank, like honestly, like it's funny because like this is gonna sound like Jimmy's crazy again, but he's really not. Frank is being really humble. Like the amount of like real world plugged in art and gallery curators, you know, worldwide and especially like in Asia that you guys are plugged into is absolutely fascinating and amazing, right? Like you're going through a whole rebrand. You're coming from like a company perspective, plugged into real world artists, but also looking at finding and bringing artists that are trying to make a name for themselves into it, right? Like you're encompassing the whole field of art and you're doing it through, you know, digital assets and NFTs. And I like the idea that like you're bridging the gap between, you know, the finite art community, which is a little bit, you know, they're well versed in terms of what's happening when it comes to creation, when it comes to artists, as opposed to like NFT people, right? So you're bringing both worlds together and you're giving people opportunity on both sides to plug into the other side of the things. Like I'm sorry, can you tell I'm excited?
Thank you, Jimmy. And yeah, no, that's the effort, and it's a great effort because you know you start from more or less scratch, and we all know that the NFT you know world has been a lot about PFP projects, you know, more of a crypto you know collectors kind of audience that bought into NFT PFP projects, and obviously we are entering from the art angle. So you know we have you know once we launched the Meta Art Club, Levina and myself, we realized that it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. We are just starting. It's a journey that we are entering, and we have to take it step by step. And it's especially this kind of collaboration we are so proud about because this is all about the future working hand in hand.
I like it. Jimmy, we know some really cool people. You notice that? What the heck? You're still muted, which is fine. I'll just keep talking.
We do.
Like you do. All right. So, I mean, just a mic drop. This show's over. Frank, I love having you on, man. I love having all of you guys on. And you know, thank you for being patient with me this morning because I dropped the ball on some scheduling stuff, and you guys totally just were completely game and you know again super patient with us. So thank you for that. And I'm glad we got to have this conversation this morning because now I'm all fired up. We got this little sale going on Ethereum tomorrow, whatever. It's no big deal. So yeah, good talk.
Thank you. Thank you also all from my side, and Migla and Juan, and look really forward seeing you soon in Amsterdam.
Right, man.
Yes, absolutely. Same here, man.
So that, like, you know, Jordan mentioned in the comments earlier that the sale is going live. It's Ethereum Sale Eve, which is pretty fun. Just to recap on that, like all of your favorite projects that you want to, that are part of the Newmoon, accelerator group, they're all in Ethereum. And we've got some really cool things happening with maps that have never been done before. Maybe Corey, you can enlighten anyone who watches this back later. What's going to happen with the maps, and how are people going to know where Frank or Migla or Juan are?
Yeah, so we're gonna have, if anybody if you've seen the world maps for the Uplift, it's got all the plot outlines on it, and you can actually see what's built there. We're gonna have the maps live for DGen 1 and Ethereum, and I haven't seen it yet, so hopefully this is actually gonna work. But we're planning on having the project logos actually on the plot where they've got their plot, so it's going to be really easy to find where the Meta Art Club is if you want to buy up all the land around it. You're going to be competing with me and Jimmy to do it. But the Rebellium logo is going to be on there, that kind of thing, right? So the you'll be able to spot those I've actually also worked up, Jimmy, backup images so that if people want a reference image, like if for any reason that doesn't work, because we're trying a bunch of stuff that we've never tried before. So who knows? Maybe it'll even work.
I mean, it's amazing that we're trying stuff that we've never tried before because we've never done that.
Oh, there's like 3 or 4 things we've never done on this that we're doing at the same time. Not including minting on Ethereum, which we also have never done before. So that's kind of fun. Yeah, and then you just go to the map and you'll be able to click on whatever plot you want, and it'll just pop up the sales page to buy the NFT with some Ethereum, and you'll be able to buy it. Should be pretty slick.
And like, I'm pretty sure that it's all going to work out really well. But like, you want to know what my backup plan for like trying stuff that we've never tried before, and something happens to go wrong?
What's that?
We link people back to the passports we link people back to the satellite drop that we did in the early days.
You're talking about the what were those things? The freaking oh Christ! I still have trauma from this.
Right.
What the hell did we call it? I blocked it.
I can't remember either. Like, which is funny. Like, and honestly, like from the user perspective, it was great. But like from the dev, like,
it was a nightmare.
Nightmare. So I'm pretty excited.
Probes,
about what's happening.
freaking probe NFTs.
Yes.
Oy. It basically blended for an option to pick a piece of like an area of land. The whole thing just barely worked at all, and it was a giant mess.
Again, memes. If you want to probe NFTs, go to NFT Blocks. If you want to probe NFT art, go to the Meta Art Club. If you want to probe hyper realistic avatars, go over to Migla at Rebellion. So, I like it. Corey, I think we should play ourselves out because my audio sucks with a little view of the Meta Art Club, because like that's a great video. Migla, Juan, thank you for joining us as well. We don't have videos of you yet, but we will. We're super excited to have all 3 of you and your teams in Ethereum with the rest of the Newmooners.
Game on.
I need my Ethereum. I have way too many plots to buy next to.
100%. 100%.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, hey, sorry. I just saw the link, Jimmy, in the private thing. So I'm like, when is Jimmy going to turn something on? Like, what's happening right now? No, it's my job. This is the story of the morning. Like, Corey dropping the ball is the theme.
No. But it's not. It's Jimmy dropping the ball for the last like 8 months, because Jimmy can't figure out how to play a video live on stream without having his thing working.
All right. Game on. All right, then. That is
awesome.
Happy hour tomorrow. We're gonna actually
tonight.
Yeah. Sorry,
Mr. Japan.
Yeah.
Oh, see, now I'm doing a Jimmy, and I have this thing playing in my ear. Yeah. So happy hour is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Jimmy's tomorrow morning. I think we're actually just going to meet in the Dome again. We did it last week as well, but we want to give everybody the opportunity to check out the Dome. We got all the logos for all the partner projects. We have all the QR codes that lead to the Twitter accounts of all the partner projects. We're just going to have a big, huge raid. Join us in world and follow all these amazing people on Twitter and take selfies with their logos. And there's going to be fireworks, and we're going to be on Twitter Spaces, and it's going to be a good time.
Hey, you know what's happening? Like, really, really soon, Corey?
What's that?